This was sent into CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Rob Arrowwood in Evansville, Wyoming. Chris Jericho said on his recent interview with Matt Hardy, quote, "There is no AEW booker. We are all the bookers. We are all doing it together." What are your thoughts on this?
Well, yes and no. Yes, I like it. No, I don't. You always have to have a booker, somebody with the final say that is not only more experienced, but also more physically intimidating than anybody, or if not physically intimidating, more intimidating in terms of personality than everybody else on the fucking roster. The guy that you go to, Dusty Rhodes, Cowboy Bill Watts, Eddie Graham, the guy that can, tell you whether you're going to go up or down, whether you're going to live or die, whether you're going to stay or go, whatever the fuck. The final word, the guy that your general. All of us would follow Dusty Rhodes into combat because he was the biggest fucking star in the world. Then he was the biggest box office attraction, and he'd been there and done that, and he had more experience than all of us. And luckily, we had two leaders. We had Dusty and Flair in those days, and the Crockett days. You always want input from your top talent if they're experienced and have drawn money. That's the way the wrestling business was built. It wasn't just about the booker telling everybody exactly what to do and what finish to do and what every move to make. It was the booker assembling a team of guys that he knew could carry the ball. And some of them were just the fucking, the opening match guys where your fucking guys on the line, just block for me. I'm the quarterback, block for me. And some guys were the guys that made the intricate plays, the main event stars. And the main event guys, you ask, who do you like to work with? Who would you want to bring in here? Have you done angles in other territories? That's the way the business went. A big star came in a territory getting a push. First thing he'd do is tell the booker, well, I did this angle in Amarillo with so-and-so, and boy, you got a baby face here. It'd be perfect for me to do that. Here's how it goes. How many guys do you think jumped off a ladder on Pepper Gomez's stomach over his career? Millions. How many? The Kentuckians, Grizzly Smith and Luke Brown, they would trade territories back and forth with the Assassins because that's why they had a program. It was so long. They drew so much money because whatever team went into a territory first, they'd get over. And then they'd say, well, we did these angles with the other team and bring them in and we'll draw money. And they'd do that. George Scott, when he booked the Carolinas for Crockett in the 70s and early 80s, his main talent as a booker, it became more apparent after I met the fucking guy, was he brought in Wahoo McDaniel and Blackjack Mulligan and Johnny Valentine and all these guys that would basically book their shit for him. Wahoo McDaniel said, hey, there's a kid you need to bring in from Minneapolis. He's going to be nothing but money. His name's Ric Flair. I'll work with him. There you go. But those guys knew how they could get over and how they could get other people over and what angles worked for them. And everybody had their specialty match. Wahoo'd bring in a guy that was good at the Indian strap match. Or the other, Terry Funk would want to work with a guy that could have a good Texas death match. Whatever the fuck. But you always have to have an authority figure and one guy that's more important than everybody else to say yes or no to everything. And put everything on paper because it was all just done by talking back then. One guy puts everything on paper. One guy sets it in stone. One guy says, this is the card. And in the case of the AEW talent, that's fine for Chris Jericho. He's done a great job because he's got 25 years experience and he knows what gets over and he knows what gets other people over. But when you've got guys that have only done the independents, that's go back to the start of this thing. I knew that AEW wrestling was not going to be something I was going to want to be involved with when I heard that the Young Bucks were going to be and Kenny Olivier were going to be instrumental in it. I would jump at the chance to work at a promotion with Chris Jericho funded by a billionaire. Not regularly because I still ain't going to fly, but yes, I'd be glad to help in whatever way possible. But when you hear about this, I knew. Then you have a bunch of guys who have never had any constraints put on them because these outlaw promoters let the guys do whatever they want. That's why you have all these joke bullshit matches on these independent shows with the dolls and the invisible men and the fucking children and the fucking goofiness. And I knew that that was going to play a part in AEW. And when you have guys like Chris Jericho, who's an old veteran who knows what he's doing, or a guy like Cody who has booking and promotion in his genes on one side, and you got two little fucking kids who think it's, fun because their idea of they were never trained and their wrestling formulation came in a fucking barn in California where everybody just does all the moves they've ever known and tries to have the 5-star matches and in front of 400 people. And that's their idea of what wrestling is. Or a fucking pretentious twat douchebag who thinks that Japanese anime is going to be the next fucking hottest thing in America. You got them on the other side. If you've got all those people doing it, then it comes out like it was fucking edited in a Mixmaster, which is what a lot of the start of All Elite Wrestling for the first 6 months looked like. You'd have a serious match between Cody and Dustin with blood and psychology and passion and a story, and then you'd have the legless guy fucking around with the fucking, dragster from the Tropicana, while, untrained outlaw guys did stupid shit that missed by 6 feet. That's what you've got when there is no booker and everybody's doing their own shit. There needs to be a happy medium of a guy to tell everybody what to fucking do when he has to, and a guy who asks his main event guys with experience that know what's going on for help in putting their shit together. And everybody then down the rest of the card gets told what to do or told where the door is if they don't like it, and they hope to get to that main event spot where they can start pitching in. That's the way it works.
AEW is kind of like the Montessori school of professional wrestling.
Only because you're a privileged child did you come up with that, and only because apparently I am too did I get it.
Well, there you go.